Jet lag is for poor people. Why do I say that? So recently I had the privilege of flying first class on an overseas flight, Texas to Europe, direct flight. Full first class, you can lay down, you get real food, you get real silverware, you get real service. And I this wasn't my first international flight. This wasn't my first long haul flight, not by a long shot. And I say this to say this. I've always struggled on the planes. I've always struggled with jet lag. I've always struggled with sleep, with adjusting to time zones, whether I'm going east, west, north, south, doesn't matter. I always struggled with it. Always had trouble acclimating. So recently, I went from the central United States over to Europe, damn near Eastern Europe, and I didn't have a single problem, and I'll tell you why. Because I was able to lay down. I didn't have a problem with jet lag. I had a problem with sitting in a chair upright for 12 hours and trying to sleep, or failing to sleep, I should say. So the thing is, that's why I say jet lag is for poor people, because it is, right? Most things are a trade-off. We trade convenience for money. We trade time for money. We trade things for money, and how much money you have dictates how much of a thing you can get. How convenient can your flight be? How convenient can your delivery be, right? And that's my point. I've always made it a point to take care of myself, to prioritize myself, my body, my health, my well-being, and I never thought about it in the sense of flying first class. Now, it seems like a waste, the ticket is triple the price, quadruple the price, even sometimes even more, 5 times the price of the economy flight, right? Because you got economy, you got comfort premium, which is kind of like what the old business class was, with the big seats, and it's a little more comfortable. It's like sitting in a recliner as opposed to sitting in just an office chair like this, right? And it reclines a little bit more, and you get a little bit better food. But that first class, the first class where you can lay down, where you pretty much have privacy to yourself the whole time, you're sharing a bathroom with about 30 people instead of 300 people, those things make a huge difference in your travel experience. And now everyone says things are not always about money, it's about the experience. Or, even I was of the mindset, hey, as long as I get there, why waste the money on the transport, right? But here's what you're not getting. It's, what is the condition in which you would like to arrive at your destination? This is why when companies fly people out, they're always making it business or first class. They're always sending their people business or first class. Now, I used to have that mindset of, hey, like I said, as long as I get there, right? But it's like, if I'm sending something important or something fragile to a friend, and I'm shipping it to him, and I throw it in the box with 0 bubble wrap, and I'm like, hey, as long as it gets there, well, what's the point of it getting there in 1,000 pieces, right? The equivalent is you being jet lagged and taking 2, 3, 4, 5 days to recover from your journey because you're so beat up. You had no bubble wrap. You got so beat up on your journey that you arrive in a much worse condition than you left. Now, air travel in itself is already pretty arduous. You're going to altitude, you're getting dehydrated by the dry air, you're being exposed to more radiation by being up in the upper atmosphere. All these things deplete like your health and your well-being and everything while you're flying. And then you couple that with lack of rest, and that's just a recipe. Like, for me, I'm not a person who ever really gets sick. I'm not a person who's ill all the time, and I almost faithfully, anytime I flew, I would get sick. And the reason is because I wasn't sleeping, and especially red eyes. If I ever took a red eye, I wouldn't be able to sleep on the plane. And I'm talking, I took a flight from California to New Zealand. It was like a 16-hour flight. I did not sleep on that flight. Not one wink. Maybe for like 10 minutes I dozed off, and same thing on the way back. I did not sleep. And even on the way back, I had extra leg room, right? So all that is to illustrate my point. Is like, what's the condition in which you want to arrive? How do you want to show up to wherever it is you are, even if it's just vacation or whether it's business vacation, whatever? How do you want to show up? How much is that worth to you? And that is the appeal and the draw of first class. This is what I've learned, and it's just so much better because I get on the plane, right? The guy, basically the stewardess or the steward, whatever you want to call him, introduces himself to me. Says, "Hi, Mr. Ekstrom. I'll be your steward today. Let me know if you need anything," right? Right off the bat, a very different experience where it's just like, welcome to the plane, get in your seat, deal with it. Dude introduces himself to me. So I had told him this was on the way to Europe. So I'm losing time. I was losing time, was skipping over time. So basically, my night ended up being 4 hours long. And I was like, hey, I'm going to get sleep on this plane regardless. But I told the steward, and I was like, just wake me up for breakfast. And so, I go to sleep at what is essentially midnight and lose quite a few hours and wake up what is essentially local time to me at 4 a.m. Very tired, very groggy, very out of it. Gently taps me on the shoulder. Boom, there's a hot meal sitting there. Silverware, plates, glasses, would you like some champagne? And the point is that experience, right? Just the ability to lay flat. Forget everything else. Forget all the luxury. Forget all the meals. Forget all the, free champagne, whatever. Forget all of that. The ability to lay down and get adequate rest is priceless to me. And it should be priceless to you. So I like just getting there. Immediately off the bat, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for vacation. I'm ready to do my thing. I had zero jet lag. Zero. Because I was able to sleep properly and rest properly. Yeah, was it my best night's sleep? Absolutely not. But was it the best sleep I've ever gotten on a plane? Yes. And then on my flight back, we're actually gaining time, and yeah, we're gaining time. It was essentially a daytime flight, right? I'm losing the whole day. I left at 1 p.m. but arrived at 4 p.m., right? But it's a whole day, and I was still tired and stuff. I had had a long night the night before, and my point in saying this is, even so, I didn't sleep for any sort of amount of hours, right? Maybe 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But the point is, I could lay down when I wanted to. And that's what I mean when I say things like that, where I say jet lag is for poor people. These things, you have to elevate your mindset and understand that certain things don't suck. You're just getting the cheap version of them, right? Driving doesn't suck when you're in a $200,000 car, right? Driving sucks when you're in something affordable, right? Same thing. I used to... I still kind of laugh at people who bitch about air travel because it's still the easiest way to travel, historically speaking, right? We're not in a covered wagon. I'm not getting dysentery. I'm not dying on the Oregon Trail. I'm eating some peanuts and sitting in a chair for 12 hours and arriving halfway across the world. It's not that bad. But with that said, it could be better. It could be better. And you have to understand that, like, things that suck for a reason. That should be motivation enough for you to elevate your status. Some people will say, hey, that's good enough for me, right? As long as I get there, or as long as, my car gets me from A to B. If you're watching my channel, if you subscribed, if you're one of the few subscribers, hopefully you understand by now that there's more to life. There's more to get out of life. There's more to get from life, and there's better to experience from life. And you're able to experience that. And unfortunately, fortunately, however you want to put it, those experiences cost money. That's just the way it is. So you have to prioritize your money so you can afford to do these things, right? There used to be a meme that was circulating in like 2010 or something. It was showing celebrities who, before and after they were famous. And the caption below it was like, you're not ugly, you're just poor. And it's true, right? Because the ability even to get proper facial care products, proper haircuts, proper rest, right? It costs money. Plastic surgery costs money. All of that shit. So, yes, of course the celebrities are going to look better when they're richer. Listen, broke doesn't look good on anybody. It doesn't. And if you take your money and prioritize it towards bettering yourself, towards bettering your status and your appearance and how you show up in life, it's going to pay back tenfold. That's what you have to understand, right? What is the cost of me arriving exhausted? What is the cost of me now getting back home? I could literally jump back into work. I came home on a Thursday, started back up on work. It wasn't an issue. I didn't have any jet lag. I adjusted like that. That's the whole point. What's it cost to you? What's it worth to you? So like I said, I'm starting to ramble, but I'm getting to the point where it's like jet lag, all these bad experiences or less than ideal experiences, subpar experiences you're having is due to a lack of money, right? I just saw a short that was talking about how to eat 200 grams of protein a day. I've done that. I've been doing that for years. Point is, it costs money. A lot of the people in the comments were like, well, I can't afford to eat that much protein in a day. Yeah, because meat's expensive, right? Get your money up and prioritize the things that are important. That's what I've always tried to do. As my income has risen throughout the years, I have always prioritized maximizing myself so I can grow more, right? Because what's the cost of me being low energy? What's the cost of me, not feeling good? It's taking away from my ability to build and to grow more. How am I going to make more money? How am I going to heighten my capacity to work or whatever if I'm compromised? If I'm compromising on the quality of my food, if I'm compromising on the quality of my sleep, right? I invested a lot into my mattress. This is how much I care about these things. And when you invest those things in yourself, whether that be a first class flight, whether that be a top of the line mattress, whether that be space and room to breathe, it will pay you back. There's a cost to your mental health. There's a cost to everything. And I'm telling you, if you take your money, no matter how little it is, that's the thing. People will say, well, it's easy to say when you have all this extra money that you can buy first class flights or you can buy nice mattresses. That's the point. That's the point. I've had not a lot of money. I've been broke. I've lived in the hood, right? But my priority, even then, when I first moved out of my mom's house and I first moved to San Diego, I was like, I could be broke. I could be down to my last dollar. My bank account could be empty, but I'm going to prioritize getting the highest quality food that I can afford because it matters that much. My energy matters that much. And at the time, it was ground beef, beans, and rice, right? But it was quality food. I wasn't eating that Jack in the Box. I wasn't eating that McDonald's because I needed that energy to go forward, to build, to grow. That's what you have to understand. You have to repeatedly, these things are not being bougie. These things are not luxury items. They're investments in yourself. If you use the results properly, if you use the energy, if you use whatever it is to grow more, then you'll go further than anyone else can. This is why people drag. This is why people feel like shit at night. This is why people don't have any energy after work, because they're not eating right. They're not sleeping right. Their mental health is trash because they're not prioritizing these things. You'll need to prioritize it with your money as well. You have to put your money where your mouth is, right? So if you say these things are a priority, if you say your health is a priority, your sleep is a priority, your mental health is a priority, the shit's gonna cost. You're gonna have to pay for therapy. You're gonna have to pay for quality food. That's just the way it is. So, with that said, being fat, experiencing jet lag, being tired all the time, this shit's for poor people. I'm not talking about poor in terms of money. It's poor in terms of mindset. So shift your mindset. Start using your money on things that'll actually benefit you instead of just occupying or entertaining you, and you'll be better for it.